What is going on, guys? My name is Tubby Emu. Welcome back as we're going to talk some WWE news. So the Superstar Shakeup has been completed. Raw and SmackDown both have their respective superstars. I am going to be making a top 10 feuds I'm most looking forward to. I'd love to know some of your feedback in the comments below on which feuds you're most looking forward to. But let's get right into the news for WWE. So you may have noticed on TV the other night, Dean Ambrose and Renee Young were wearing wedding rings. And it has been confirmed that Dean Ambrose and Renee Young have gotten married. Now, I want to make this very clear because I have a couple friends that are Dean Ambrose fans, big Dean Ambrose fans, and they're kind of pissed off about it. They don't like Renee for whatever reason, obviously because of the fandom towards Dean Ambrose, and they just love Dean Ambrose. So the fact that they're with Renee Young, a lot of people are going crazy, and they even commented on how Renee Young is like getting death threats from people because they're with Dean Ambrose. And that kind of stuff just doesn't make sense to me. It's like I had met a woman 2 or 3 years ago in at Mall of America, and she was wearing a Dean Ambrose bracelet. This is when she was in the Shield. And she had made the comment in front of her boyfriend that, you know, if Dean Ambrose ever wanted to get with me, I totally would. And her boyfriend's like, oh my God, it's not happening. And at that moment, I just realized there's a lot of fans that truly believe like they're going to get with Dean Ambrose. And I'm not saying they're not, because if you think about the road stories from wrestling's past, I'm not saying anything's out of craze here, but I want to make this very clear, guys. If you're one of the people that are like pissed off Renee Young, like I like Renee Young, I like Dean Ambrose, I like to say like, oh, gosh darn their happiness. Like that's one of the things that really I don't understand. So if you're one of those people, knock it off. Don't be one of those people that's really pissed off because Dean and Renee are married. I want to say congratulations to both of them. And I do think it's a little crazy that you can love something so much like wrestling and get attached so much to a character, a person, where you truly feel that attached. And that's one, that means they're doing something right and they're doing their job, that people are actually having feelings towards them. But if it goes too far, that's a little bit too much. And I have a little bit of an issue with that because I think it's a little weird, because I think even she had commented on it as I bring this up. Marriage is nice. Thanks for all the love, question mark. She made a comment. We hit it off. I guess he has a thing for Canadian girls. Hopefully just me, she said sarcastically. And that's one of those things that I'm glad they found happiness. I'm glad like Lana and Rusev found happiness, because in life, we get one life, man. Find that person that just you can't live without, and make the most of it. Then let's talk about one of the bigger stories. This has been going around, and I've waited to hold off on it because we still don't know all the angles. Right now, we know the speculation, and we know for a fact that Mauro Ranallo is pretty much going to be gone from WWE for the rest of his contract. And we know that JBL is blocking people that support Mauro Ranallo on Twitter, as seen from a lot of other YouTubers and just people in general that tweet JBL, even asking about it or even mentioning the word Mauro Ranallo, and he's blocking them and shutting it down. So if the rumors were true, because I want to say this, there's two distinct character differences. JBL's on-screen bully character, where he goes after David Otunga or Tom Phillips, the on-screen character, it works. I love the on-screen character because that's JBL's character. Now, today, or yesterday, when Jerry Lawler uploaded his new podcast, he basically said, that is JBL. He's brash, he's that way in your face, he's that way on TV, that's how he is off, and it takes a while to get used to, and if you're not used to that, or if you've never talked to him, he can come off like a real, that's how he can come off like. Now, this all really stemmed a lot, especially from Justin Roberts. Now, some people say Justin Roberts is just disgruntled, and again, in the world of kayfabe and wrestling, you don't necessarily know what's true and what's not true. You don't know what something is speculation, when somebody's just trying to sell a book, and I don't want to say anything bad about Justin because I truly don't know. But the one thing that I can say is it seems like a lot of people have backed up the statement that at least, JBL may be a good guy. He may sit down and talk to you, but it seems like you have to know him or else it does come off like real dickish. Like, I'll use a personal example here. when we were growing back in 2011, 2012, and my channel became #1, everybody thought, oh man, this guy is a money whore. This guy only cares about views. But they never saw me actually helping out, going to bat for other channels, getting them better contracts, working with them, giving advice. You only see what you think and you perceive in real life. So somebody could say JBL is a real bully, but if you know him, it may not come off like that. So especially for the people that are defending JBL, a lot of people are saying, how can you defend JBL? Mauro Ranallo is like the best announcer WWE has had in, forever. He actually brings matches to life. How can you defend JBL bullying him so bad that Mauro Ranallo laps? Because this is the one thing I want to say. Mauro, I fucking love the fact that you are bringing national light. I mean, because depression, bipolar, everything that goes into mental health, it shouldn't be a stigma. Mental health should be something that you work with, and it doesn't necessarily mean, like, let's say you do have depression. You shouldn't be judged for that. That's something you are going through. That should be supported. That you shouldn't look down on somebody for that. And that's what really pisses me off. And I like the fact that he openly embraces it. He openly advocates for change and acceptance. And that's one of the reasons I love Mauro Ranallo. I did make a comment when he wasn't there the first week because Mauro Ranallo, is very over the top. And like I said, when at pay-per-views, I love that. But every week, I felt like it got a little too much for me personally. And then I realized, what the hell am I talking about? No, it didn't. I freaking love Mauro Ranallo. So just in case Mauro Ranallo had saw that tweet where I had said right the first week he missed, like, I love Mauro. I love hearing him call big matches, but not every match has to be the big one. I just want to apologize for that, Mauro. But I want to say I commend you on your fight. I commend you the fact that you're open about it, that you are bringing people that have been ashamed about mental health, because mental health is nothing to be ashamed of. We all go through shit. And it's like, I was fat my whole life, right? And I hated when people had automatically assumed that guy's fat, he's lazy, stupid. When I would go to the gym 2 hours, I just didn't know I didn't need to eat as much food as I had to because I felt hungry. It just took me to figure out what hunger is. And especially if you're in a place right now where you are fighting something and nobody knows, nobody can really help if they don't know. But since there's such a big stigma around these things, once you get labeled, people are afraid, well, what happens? But we've seen a lot of outpouring support from Mauro. You saw the Fire JBL chants, the Fire Bradshaw chants. You've seen everything that's going on that we've had his back. And I just want to, in the words of PewDiePie, give you a bro fist, Mauro. Because to see the WWE Universe going to bat for you the way they have is goddamn inspiring. And it really goes to show that, if this is like a case of misunderstanding where, maybe Mauro didn't have as good a relationship with JBL, or maybe it's the fact that JBL should have fucking knew that if somebody is, dealing with stuff in their personal life, hey, maybe this is not the guy I fuck with, right? Maybe all the people defending JBL, you're in a better place. You know JBL. You've known him for as long as you have. He's just ribbing you and he's just giving you shit. But if you are around somebody that has issues and you keep driving and prodding and pushing, that's where I think things take too far, and I think that's where I've seen a lot of people say, stop being social justice warrior, JBL is just playing a character. On screen, yes, but if that carries over and you don't know him off screen, that's just the way he is, it's one thing. It's like Tom Cushney and we rib each other, we banter back and forth all the time, and he knows I'm ribbing him and he knows I'm kidding, because we know each other and that's like what we've developed. But if you are going after somebody that it's a one-way street, I can exactly understand where Mauro would have, kind of lost it. And especially that he got a bad rap for tweeting a lot, like going on road to 200,000 tweets for retweeting fan polls and comments and things like that. Who gives a shit? It's Twitter. It doesn't matter. The fact that Mauro is actually engaging with people more than anybody else in the WWE is insane. And I love that. So Mauro, keep fighting. I really wish you would be back in the WWE, but if after everything that's happened, you have bigger and better pastors and you have other people that'll look out for you, but Mauro, we've got your back, and I just wanted to let you know that, because the fact that you are so open and honest about everything that you're going through, and I see people writing out paragraphs and texts and emails to you expressing like, hey, I've lived with this stigma, I've hid it, I've been ashamed of it, thank you for bringing that to light. It's the best word that I can use to describe it is it's awe-inspiring. The fact that you are going through this and you are, having so much change and people have your back so much, that says a lot about how goddamn awesome you are. So if it's short-lived, Mauro, and we never see you back in a WWE ring, thank you for the Cruiserweight Classic. Thank you for especially making the statement when people are talking about boycott WWE if they don't fire JBL, do this, and you recognize no. Mauro specifically stating no. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. But then that takes away from the hard work of the performers, the superstars, and everybody on the show. So for that, again, I got to commend you for that, Mauro, because it can't be easy. If you were pushed to a place you didn't think you would go back to from somebody, and then you still realize that, well, that is a messed up situation to keep supporting people, that's amazing. And Mauro, thank you so much. And like I said, whatever you do next, going back to Showtime Boxing, because, you're still calling Showtime Boxing and everything else, just keep up the good fight, man, and I really appreciate everything you've done. So that's like where I wanted to bring this, because I've waited talking about it until more stuff had came out, because it is one of those things that it's not an easy issue to talk about. Then I want to talk about Paige and Alberto Del Rio. Not everything that happened with them, because I'm not going to talk about that shit to make money off it. I want to talk about Del Rio kind of stepping out, especially with his drunk periscopes, and calling out WWE for saying they've been calling me and I don't want to go back there. I'm happy being away from that fucking place. And I want to say this: everybody automatically assumes that if you're a wrestler, that WWE is the place to be, and you should sacrifice everything because you're on national TV and you're on this. And I just want to say, thank you, Alberto Del Rio, for realizing you can be happy outside of the biggest company in the world. Just because you're wrestling for the biggest company in the world doesn't mean you have to put up with that shit. It doesn't mean you have to be unhappy. You can make changes in your life that give you happiness. Everybody that shit on Paige for, going out with Del Rio and then them eventually getting married and everything that they've gone through, that's not our responsibility. That's not our cause to get upset or pissed off for. It's their lives. And like I said, I'm a big advocate of you get one life, make the most of it, and do what makes you happy. So I just want to say this with Alberto and Paige. WWE did confirm his story when he said, they've been asking me back. Everybody's like, you're going to burn bridges. And they're like, well, they're still calling me, trying to get me back, because apparently Vince McMahon did want him back, and they did confirm that, which is a huge thing. So, again, Del Rio, I'm glad that you found happiness, whether or not people just are saying whatever they want to. Good for you, Alberto Del Rio. And then the last thing I want to talk about is Kane. Yes, Kane, running for mayor of Knox County, Tennessee, which I will say this. Kane is very political, and we've heard stories for the last couple of years about his political aspirations. And I have to say, I watched his video, and he was talking about what he wanted to do. Now, in my personal life, I am a very liberal person. I will say that all the overreactions, everything that's happened lately has really tested my liberal patience, because I do believe in most liberal causes that, you get one life. So if you were against gay marriage, it doesn't affect you. Why would you care? I believe that we all get one life. You should be able to make your choices. You should do what you want to. And just because you have personal beliefs, that doesn't override somebody else's quality of life, especially like when it comes to religion and those kind of things. And I don't want to get too much into that. But I think it's great that Kane's running for political office. And some people would say, well, what does Kane know? He's a wrestler. He does this. Kane has traveled the country. He's gone everywhere. He's done everything. He has a lot of experience, especially with business. Like if you're the go-to guy, you're the cleanup guy for WWE, him running for political office isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world. If you look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jesse the Body Ventura, you had Rhino run for political office. You have Donald Trump, a WWE Hall of Famer. You have Linda McMahon, who ran a company that ran for political office, didn't win, but eventually got nominated because of Trump to the Small Business Association. So I just want to make this, because some people are saying, what does a wrestler know about politics? Your day job does not define you. I just want to say that, because I do wrestling for a living, but there's so much outside of wrestling that you guys don't know that I love and don't know. Like when I was in high school, I was a bigger kid, so I kind of like stayed away from the theater stuff, but I love theater stuff. I was in the Madrigal when I was a kid, which is like a Renaissance type live action play. I like that kind of stuff. I like musicals like Hamilton, the Book of Mormon. I'm a big movie buff. There's a lot of stuff that you don't know that people have interest to. So especially when I've seen some comments like, Kane running for political office. Like, it is a little weird that when you know somebody's a personality that's in the ring with fire and brimstone and the Undertaker and everything that's happened, yes, it does seem weird that he's running for political office, but there's nothing wrong. Especially, I'm drawn into politics now, especially the double-sided, one party says this for 3 years, and once they finally get control, they do what they told the other party not to do, and there's hypocrisy. So even I get drawn into politics. So I wish Kane the best of luck here. It's not an easy thing to do. For anybody saying that he's trying to do something easier, politics are not easy. The fact that he's willing to focus so much on his family, his community where he calls home, and he's putting the effort into that says a lot about Kane. Because he could continue to travel the world as a WWE superstar. He could continue to collect this big paycheck, and instead he wants to focus on family life and helping others, and that says a lot about somebody. Because the political spectrum, I had a friend who ran for school board this year because he felt so compelled with politics that he actually got out there and did it. So that's a big deal. So I want to make that. Now, his official slogan is lighting the way for our future. If you want to see the campaign ad, I will put a link in the description. You guys can go over there and check it out during his 2018 run. Then the last thing I want to talk about really fast is Lana and Rusev. Lana's actually been teasing that maybe, and I will say that she did tweet out that she had horrible service at Boston. She's never felt more violated in her life. TSA, man, come on, it's Lana. I don't I don't get it. But then I do want to say the Backlash pay-per-view the May 21st, they decided to move the match up at Payback, and that actually makes sense to me, to move it up, especially with them switching brands. People are talking about how they didn't know that Payback was going to be a split-brand pay-per-view, and I don't even know if WWE necessarily knew it was going to be a split-brand pay-per-view, but the concept of Payback, I was a little pissed off about it being only one show. So the fact that Payback is actually a combined show is good for me, and I'm glad, because certain pay-per-views I think should be both brands, and Payback fits that brand very well. So let me know what you guys thought about all the news. Mauro, keep it up. Dean Ambrose, Renee Young, enjoy the marriage, enjoy life. I'm glad you found somebody that made you happy. Mauro, keep on the fight. JBL, man, I don't know what you got to do. I don't know what's right. I don't know what's wrong. I'm not going to comment if WWE should fire him. That's outside of my realm, because I know UFC fighters have been calling him out. So that's where we're going to leave it. But until next time, it's your boy Tubby. Thank you very much. If you want to see more news videos, if you have stories you want me to talk about, make sure to let me know in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that thumbs up button. Make sure to subscribe for more uploads. And until next time, it's your boy Tubby, and we will see you all later. Wait a minute. Time out. I also have a special announcement. I've been playing so many games and recording a stockpile of stuff. My second channel is going to be back. I know I say this like probably once every 2 years. I don't want to flood my main channel with tons of videos, but I love playing old vintage games, WWE stuff, other games. Tubby Emo will be the hub for that. I also have Ready Set Life, which is getting ready to launch here very soon. So please go subscribe to both those. Check those out. And that's where we're wrapping up. So until next time, it's your boy Tubby Emo, and we will see you all later.